You'll never be anything, Claire. You've got your father's useless look. My mother said coldly from the kitchen, the smell of cooking oil thick around her. It was the night before Thanksgiving. Oil splashed in the pan as she cooked, glancing at me sideways. I stood behind her, holding a napkin. Rain fell outside. The room smelled only of smoke and oil. I was 28, home for the holidays. 3 years had passed since I last saw her, and her first words were still attacks. I smiled slightly. Mom, I'm just here for dinner, not to get lectured. She slammed down the spatula, speaking so boldly. Have you been spoiled out there? No one spoiled me. Then you've learned to talk back. The air seemed to freeze. I watched her back, hair perfectly pinned, posture still rigid. She was 55, yet still carried that aura of control over everything. Sit down and eat, she said coldly. Okay. I sat at the old wooden table. Turkey, mashed potatoes, and her green bean salad were on the table. The taste was exactly the same, salty, stiff, unyielding. I took a bite. She glanced at me. Not to your liking? It's fine. She didn't speak again, only tapped her fork against the plate. I knew that rhythm too well. Every meal was her battlefield. Silence, scrutiny, control. I had grown up in this atmosphere. Halfway through the meal, she suddenly asked, "Still drawing those useless paintings?" "That's my job." "Job? That's a job? Claire, a person needs a stable income. Look at so-and-so's daughter next door, married, owns a house." I put down my knife and fork. "Mom, I'm not her." She sneered. "Of course not. She has skill. You have an attitude." I lifted my head to look her in the eye. Her gaze held that familiar sense of victory. She had won. She always had to win. Her tone carried the familiar sting. I set down my cup and smiled faintly. "Do you really want me to be happy?" She paused for a few seconds, then said, "I just want you to stop embarrassing me. I'm full. Sit down." Her tone was a command. I ignored it. Walking to the door, her voice followed me. "If you leave, don't come back." I turned to look at her. In that moment, I suddenly felt she wasn't warning me, she was asking me to stay. But I said nothing. I closed the door. My mother, Diane, was the kind of woman who treated life as a battlefield. Always made up, wearing heels even at home. She had been an insurance manager, and after being laid off, never forgave the world. I'm Claire, 32, a freelance illustrator. She hated my work. All day locked inside drawing useless pictures. "Just like your father, worthless," she said. My father had died young, drinking himself to death. That night, she sat by his body for a whole night. Then turned to me and said, "You're not allowed to cry. He deserved it." She always said her life had been ruined by men, first my father, then me. I was 22, freshly graduated from college. Mother didn't come to the ceremony. "I won't waste time listening to a bunch of poor kids patting themselves on the back," she said. I wore a rented graduation gown, took pictures alone among the crowd, smiling as naturally as I could. I had thought about sending them to her, but knew she wouldn't reply, so I deleted them. Back at her house, I refilled the fridge as usual. She saw me come in with bags, furrowed her brows. "More junk food? Got money to burn, huh?" "I earned it working." "Working?" She sneered. "Claire, a woman needs a respectable job, understand? Your life is ruined because of your father." She always said that. She treated my father's death as a plague, and I was the leftover infection. That night, she drank. Pointing at me from the sofa, she said, "When I was young, beautiful, smart, everyone praised me. Then I had you, and everything ended. Do you know how much I wanted to strangle you back then?" I listened silently. Her words weren't new, just more real this time. She finished speaking, leaned back on the sofa, closed her eyes as if nothing happened. I went to the kitchen to wash a cup, hands trembling. For the first time, I realized I had to leave, or I would never be myself. I started taking more illustration jobs, drawing by day, working part-time at a cafe at night. Money was tight, but I saved. Mother didn't know, thinking I was just playing around. Once I didn't return home, she called over 10 times, finally leaving a message, "If you dare move out, don't come back." I laughed. At that moment, I realized I had long lost a home. The next month, I signed my first long-term contract with a children's publisher. The boss liked my style, said it had emotion. For the first time, someone appreciated me like that. That night, I worked until midnight. Walking out of the subway, dawn was breaking. Only a delivery van's lights lit the street. The air was cold, yet I cried, not out of sadness, but relief. I rented a small studio on the outskirts of the city, tiny, just over 10 square meters, but with a window looking out at the streetlights. I bought an old desk and set up my art supplies. That night, I texted her, I moved out. No reply. 2 days later, she called. Claire, you really moved out? Yes. You want to drive me crazy? You think it's easy out there? I know. How long do you think you'll last? 3 months, and you'll crawl back. Maybe. She was silent for a few seconds, then coldly said, before you go, settle the fridge bill. I handed over 500 yuan. Not enough. I added another 200. No thanks. I hung up smiling, a tired, yet clean smile. That year I was poor. High rent, low fees, leaking pipes. Winter felt like a freezer. Several times I wanted to call home. Fingers hovering over the numbers, but I stopped. I remembered her face, forever dissatisfied, forever right. I didn't want to go back to that face. I got used to being alone. Running in the morning, drawing at night, weekends at the library. Gradually, my work got noticed. The publisher recommended me for an exhibition. I spoke on stage for the first time, hands shaking, but no one noticed. Someone bought my painting, a little girl by a window, light on her face. The buyer said, this painting feels like she's holding back tears. I smiled. That was me. One day, I went back for old documents. The house hadn't changed, the smell hadn't changed. She sat on the sofa, seeing me, look at you. Thinner again. Nobody wants you? I just smiled. She couldn't understand it. She asked, have you made money from painting? Some. Don't expect me to leave you an inheritance. I wasn't planning to. She snorted, a flicker of unease in her eyes. I thought she realized, for the first time, I didn't need her. I took out my documents. She called from behind, Claire. I stopped. Do you hate me? I turned to her. She wore an old sweater, nail polish chipped. I thought a few seconds. I used to. Not anymore. She froze, said nothing. I left the house as snow fell. Wind stung my face. I didn't look back. It took me 5 years to learn. Not all mothers are worth forgiving. But I learned another thing. Forgiveness doesn't mean letting her off, it means letting me go. Now I live across the city, in a small apartment with my paintings on the walls. Outside the window, lights, not shadows. Every morning I make coffee, open the window. Cold, but clear air. Sometimes I think of her. She still lives in that old house, probably still complaining about bills, neighbors, the weather. She may still be saying to someone, if I hadn't had her, I would have. I just smile softly. I don't need her to change, nor regret. I've walked out. Not because I won. Because I no longer have to prove anything.